So let's talk about, one more of these myths here, because you mentioned the forums and these guys kind of taking advice off of there. We've talked about this ad nauseum, I feel like, on this podcast, and I have my only 1-star review on the podcast because of this topic, because they don't like that we are, quote, anti-AI. So I want you to give your take. You can give it quickly on blocking estrogen.
Okay, well, I'll do the quick one then. Okay, look, there's not an anti-AI and an anti crowd. I kind of correct them. There is a evidence-based medicine crowd, and then there's one that's not evidence-based at all. When I literally can tell them that every single study that we've got on testosterone showing benefits of men, they did not block or control estradiol. When we did, it resulted in negative effects or no beneficial effects. Here's a problem too. Again, normal levels and men wanting to look at normal levels. Oh, they don't care if their testosterone level is outside the normal range, but they want to maintain their estradiol in that normal range. Let's talk about that. The normal range for estradiol at LabCorp is 8 to 35. Does anybody know where that comes from? Well, I found it out. So I contacted LabCorp, got with their medical director to find out, where did this normal range of 8 to 35 come from? Let me see the study. Let me see the population of men. Let me look at their hormonal status, their testosterone levels, everything else, their health status. They don't have any records of that study. It was done decades ago. It was not from any study. It was from male volunteers that worked at the facility at the time. So these men are trying to keep their levels on testosterone within a range for men that are not on they weren't on testosterone, by the way, of 8 to 35. And when you go raise testosterone, you're going to raise levels of its active metabolites in order to get the benefits from testosterone. So they want to maintain their levels from 8 to 35 based on an unknown population of men. I found it really interesting that I was looking at some literature, and I was looking at a study on a man with a congenital aromatase deficiency in the New England Journal of Medicine, and it was done in 1997. And they gave the lab values for their local lab that they used at that time. The normal range for estradiol at that time, at that lab, was 20 to 90 picograms per milliliter. Now imagine if LabCorp adopted that normal range that was used in that lab, men would not stress about their estradiol at all, because the majority of men on testosterone will still be within that range. They would never think a day about it. And when it comes to measuring estradiol in serum, now when we're not on testosterone, about 20% of circulating estradiol originates from direct testicular secretion. The rest is from peripheral aromatization, mainly from the adipose tissue, as you know, but also in the muscle, the brain, and the bone as well. But in men on testosterone, of course, testicular protection is suppressed. So therefore, the estradiol is really from the peripheral aromatization. What these men need to understand is that in healthy men, these serum levels of E2 that you measure reflect the total estradiol that has diffused into the bloodstream from all tissues have been synthesized by aromatase and escaped that local tissue metabolism. These serum levels, no matter how accurately you think you measure it, is an indirect reflection of estrogen at the tissue level. So when we use an aromatase inhibitor to lower the levels that we see in the serum, it's going to lower the estrogen in the tissues at the cellular level, which will then decrease the beneficial effects of testosterone in those tissues. And so the confusion comes from the bodybuilding world once again.
Yep.
Yeah, they thought it was a good idea
Yep.
at the time that, look, if I block estradiol, it's going to increase my free testosterone, and therefore I'm going to build bigger muscles. It does that, but of course it kills you at the same time, because it blocks the estradiol in the target tissues, in the brain, the bones, the heart, the blood vessels. So that's the real problem with blocking it. There's no data to support doing that. I don't have a single man on an aromatase inhibitor because none of them need it.
Yeah.
None of them need
Neither
it at
do
all.